pieces.
Exactly, and Lucas as well has had a bit of a tough old event, as well as Wilson. I mean, all of your drivers haven't had the best event, unfortunately, so this could be a really nice high for McLaren.
Yeah, precisely. Looking forward to the race. It's a great opportunity for us to score some points. Let's be honest, it's been a challenging season for us for a few different reasons, but we know exactly why certain things happened, and let's not dwell on the past. Let's focus on this race, and look forward to seeing what we can do.
Well, good luck. It's all going to happen very, very shortly. Now, before the race gets underway and we find out who is going to be crowned the champion this season, let's see what happened in qualifying.
So we just finished qualifying for the last time this year, finally. The stress is starting to come down a bit after a very tight qualifying session.
Nicholas Longay looking to rise above and does rise above, goes to the top with that 1:21.040. His teammate joins him in second place.
Yeah, so qualifying ended, got pole position in the end with a good lap in the end. Very good to get that 1 point already. Feel a bit more confident for the race because now Freddie needs to get at least P3 and not P4 to even have a chance of me getting the championship.
But all eyes now on Thomas Ronha, his championship competitors in 1 and 2 so far. Can he register his name higher up the order, potentially usurping the pair?
Quali is done, Q1, when I go out, straight away I felt I have the confidence to push the car, which was really, really key. And then for Q3, last run I was on a really, really good lap, nearly my PB. And then last sector I had so many screen freezes, but it's just part of the game. And then I choked a lap, still starting P2, and my teammate P3 as well, all to play for in the race.
In comes Nicholas Longay, who now goes to the top for Ferrari, a position they're so used to, and this is something they're used to, a 1-2 right now.
Somehow I managed to pull a lap kind of out of nowhere. I wasn't feeling too comfortable around this track, to be honest. Barry getting P2, perfect position for us in the race, and for the championship, maybe we can do something for Barry's championship in the drivers.
I basically need to win the race now to be able to get a very good chance of winning it. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Well, that qualifying set us up for a very exciting race that we will be starting shortly. But for now, I am joined by Jeremiah Strocek, who is an engineer at the Haas team. How are you feeling? How do you reflect on event 3?
Yeah, it's quite crazy, especially previous day. But I think the last day will be the most important for this fall event.
Absolutely. And of course, the team isn't in a battle for the championships, but how does it feel to be looking on to this tight battle that we have between 3 drivers and 2 teams?
Yeah, we don't look on it because we have the other target.
Yeah.
We have the target with the position 5 on the team championship. Also, Alfie have a chance to P5 on the driver championship. So we look on it. We have the things to do, and not aim on this this battle.
No time for that because they've got a battle on their hands themselves. As you guys know, with the prize pool, it is spread across the drivers and all the team positions. So very important. Every point matters here. Before I let you go, just very quickly, what positions do you think are realistically possible for your drivers today?
For Alfie, I think we aim on top 5. It's quite a good position.
Yeah.
For Ulas, we want to battle for something point. To team championship. So,
well, I look forward to seeing how you go. Good luck to both your drivers and to the team as a whole. It's time to get ready to race one last time. We are about to race in Abu Dhabi. I can't wait, and this is going to be a race filled with so many emotions. Let's see just how much this season has meant to our drivers.
Wheel to wheel, they make contact, but it's Alfie Butcher, a debut victory here for the young man. Incredible. The 2-time champion rises once again. It's 10 race wins for Jarno Opmeer. For the second time here in Belgium, it's Barry Burremans who takes a sensational victory.
Thomas Ronha massively upset with that one.
You've got to wonder, who made that call? I mean, Longay. I mean, just look at that. It almost breaks your heart to see it, really. Thomas Ronha, it was hardship in event 2. He hails in event 3. It's victory. And he's going to go back-to-back. It's a triple dream for Thomas Ronha. He wins the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. In comes now Barry Burmand. They rolled the dice. It's Barry Burmand, your victor. This affects championships, the front end and the back end of things, as now it's Ferrari delight again. Introduced to the Formula One calendar back in 2007 and has since held a staple position as the grand finale on the calendar. Hamilton, Alonso, Button, Vettel, Rosberg, and in recent years Max Verstappen have all graced the desert circuit while also laying claim to Formula One World Championship glory. This will be our first visit to the circuit in F1 sim racing and its World Championship, where we have seen 3 different race winners across all occasions we have raced here. It all started with a Brendan Lee finger wag back in 2017, and now we have our closest championship fight since that same year, with only 16 points separating P3 Barry Burmand to our current championship leader, Freddie Rasmussen. The ever-technical, treacherous, high-speed sections, this circuit has it all, and we're looking forward to it. Broke ground, I should say, May 2007. As I said, October 2009 is when it was brought to us in Formula One. 3.367 miles, 5.419 kilometres, 16 corners, built by the great Herman Tilke. We have now got 3 protagonists that are looking to take the crown. First of all, let's take you through the starting grid. Back to front. Fabrizio Donoso starts from 20th place. Ruben Pedreño joins him, 19th spot. Moving on up, it's 18th for Wilson Hughes. Alvaro Carreton starts 17th. And then up in 16th, it's Brendan Lee. He knows how to win round here. Patrick Schipos in 15th. Then moving on up to 14th place is Jed Norgrove, and Tom Manley in 13th, AlphaTauri, joined at the hip on the same row. Ulash Zildrim in 12th, Jana Watmir starting 11th for Mercedes. Now into the top 10, John Evans, an absolutely sensational qualifying performance. Ismail Fassi also igniting his career again in 9th place. Josh Ido joining his teammate Freddie Rasmussen, 7th and 8th for the 2 Red Bulls. And moving on up in 6th place is Danny Berejne with Alfie Butcher, fellow rookie to that of Ismail Fassi, starting 5th, bidding to become a race winner for the 2nd time. Lucas Blakely in 4th, the reigning champion on the 2nd row, alongside Nicolas Longuet in 3rd place. Ferrari chasing that coveted Teams Championship crown, with his teammate Barry Burmand starting on the front row, 2nd place. But another man, 2 championship titleists on the front row of the grid, the Dutchman Thomas Ronha, looking to take it from pole position. And it's a clear day. Track conditions perfect for one last chance to dance. We're here at Yas Marina, Hayden Gullis. I can't wait for it. We're going to be in for a treat.
This is going to be an incredible climax to this season. I, for one, cannot wait either. As it stands, Thomas Ronha would be champion with Frederick Rasmussen in 7th position. But with Freddie being in 7th, it's a battle between the front 2. Thomas Ronha, Barry Burmand. Whoever wins this race, if Freddie's 7th or below, will take the title. There's so much on the line. We're going to try our best to keep up to date and on track with everything. But with these 3 drivers, an extra point for fastest lap, it can be difficult to keep track of it. We're going to try our best. There is one of our championship protagonists and the championship leader. He has a 12-point lead over the rest of the field. If he finishes on the podium, it doesn't matter where Ronha is, where Burmand is, he will become our champion of this season of F1 sim racing.
Certainly will, as we now pan the cameras across the paddock, the drivers lying in wait, the tension. I'll tell you what, you can cut it with a knife. It's palpable here at Abu Dhabi, folks. Yas Marina lit up under the floodlights, and there are the trophies, I should say, that are waiting to be claimed by the drivers. But for the final time, all 5 lights will get lit in 2024, and it's pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. Great start from Barry Burman. He'll have the inside, but Thomas Ronard holds the lead of the race. Coming out of turn 1 now, they'll now flurry through towards turns 2 and 3. The Ferraris together, Longuet in third, Blakely tucked away in fourth as well, but Barry Burman clocking Ronhard this time around. Is he going to try and move it towards turn 5? Not today. He's going to be a little patient, but a very nice, orderly start. Ronhard leads here.
Very important for Ferrari to be second and third at this stage of the race and not lose out to the drivers behind like Lucas Blakely and Alfie Butcher. But Alfie Butcher is on hard tyres. Let's look at the tyres amongst the rest of the grid. The top 4 right now on the softs. And we've got 3 hard runners. Then there's a few softs mixed in, but it's softs and hards is the strategy so far for the rest of the grid. Here is Danny Beresde, qualified well in the top 10 earlier on. He's currently running 6th position, also on the hard tyres. Needs to watch out for Josh Edu. And it's interesting to see the Red Bull drivers splitting their strategies in this one. Josh Edu going to go on the softs, going to go on the attack, try and get himself into that lead pack and disrupt things to help out his teammate, Frederick Rasmussen.
Yeah, Danny Barrage we're currently seeing on our screens. This is his 40th Grand Prix. Tom Manley having a look down the inside now as he looks to stretch his advantage. Now up to 11th, he's going to go for a double. He's going to try and take on Ismail Fasti through turn 14, hanging the AlphaTauri around the outside. The 2 cars all dressed in blue. The Williams looking to try and defend against the assault, but Manley with the Tiger line through the final 2 corners. Coming out of turn 16, it's the team from Faenza who hold track position and at the same time ascend to P10. Fantastic from Tom Manley.
Beautiful driving, great will-to-will action in such a difficult section of the circuit. Unbelievable stuff there from Tom Manley, and of course getting ahead of the Williams driver of Ismail Fasti. Everything staying perfectly normal up at the front, and this is what Ferrari want. They want to stay in that 2nd and 3rd position all the way to the end and then mount that attack on Thomas Ronhard. It's kind of out of their hands in terms of the Drivers' Championship, because relying so much on Frederick Rasmussen kind of being, outside that top 6 area to give Barry the best chance of winning the championship. So they've just got to do their best job to put Barry at the front and also seal the team's championship as well. And then wherever Frederick Rasmussen finishes, they'll find out if they finish on top.
Yeah, still a lot to do here. Bear in mind, Rasmussen being on those hard tyres will of course go long. We've got many others in the top 10 that are on softs. Now Edo is probably going to want to make traction. Ismail Fasti getting past John Evans. They go wheel to wheel, heading down through towards the next left. Incidentally, I think John Evans more going on the attack of Ismail Fasti, having to back out of it though, and Fasti will maintain that P10 place. Pedreño and Shipos further down, 12th and 13th, both on soft tyres. They need to get those put to work, because if they don't, when it turns the heads in terms of the strategy, the stint comes to an end. They're going to be on slower tyres, whereas those on the hards are going to be on faster ones.
Interestingly to look at, Josh Edo not getting past his teammate. I was kind of expecting with him being on the softs for Red Bull to pull the teammate card, put Josh Edo above Frederick Rasmussen and go on the attack of Daniel Beresde and Alfie Butcher and try and get in that 5th position. So at least he's in the mix with that front-running train. Of course, you've got Thomas Ronhard, Barry Burman who are up there, and he could get amongst those guys and try and fight and see what happens later on in that race. But no team tactics at the moment, no switches between those two. So currently, Frederick Rasmussen on the harder tyres ahead of his teammate who's on a softer compound. With Tom Manley, another Red Bull family driver behind them in 9th. Let's look at a replay of the start. It was a great start from Thomas Ronhard. Of course, he's on the grippier line. That is the racing line on the left-hand side of your screen. So he had a great start to take the lead of the race. Barry started in 2nd and Nicholas Longuet in 3rd. It was very well behaved up at the front of the field. A few change of positions further back with Tom Manley and Fasti going side by side, as well as Ruben Pedreño and Wilson Hughes. But up at the front, everyone was very well behaved.
Yeah, it's quite convenient that we've got our current top 2 still maintaining Ps 1 and 2 right now. It looked like the Red Bull was getting boxed in. Freddie Rasmussen getting a little bit of an uncomfortable run, of course, but joined by Danny Berejne in the Mercedes just in front of him here as they make their way through turns 2, 3 and 4. That's Freddie looking to make the move in towards turn 5. Certainly did. Down the inside, very late on the brakes, had to be careful of the Haas as well that was sat further up, but did well nonetheless. But also the Mercedes coming straight back at him, heading down the long straight.
Now Mercedes want to do everything they can to stop Red Bull from winning this championship, as they are, such big rivals. If it was up to Mercedes, it wouldn't be Ferrari or Red Bull winning this championship. They probably prefer to go to someone like Kick Sauber, but they also have their own championship to fight off for. Currently in the team's championship coming into this race, they're on 174 points. Kick and Red Bull are ahead of them at the moment. P2 is possible in the Constructors' Championship, but they need a really strong performance. Pretty much going to need a 1-2. But for Danny Beresde to get ahead of the Red Bull, it's going to maximise their opportunity. Still holding rank at the moment, the 2 Ferrari drivers just pulling out of each other's slipstream. Nobody wants to, get too much temperature into their engines, get too high of a top speed, get too high temperatures in your engines, because it's going to hurt your top end speed, which you're going to need later on in the race when you want to go for the attack and really try and get those positions. So at the moment, everyone's just really calm. I think at the start of the season, this stage of the race was a bit chaotic. People were fighting for positions because there was not too much on the line. You can see right now, Longuet has no intention of pushing. Look at the battery, it's almost full. It's only being burnt in the acceleration zones automatically because you can't turn it completely off. He's just saving battery at the moment so that he's ready for that later stage, whether it's just before the pit stops, but also at the end of the race. They have to be careful and make sure they're maintaining. And that's what most of the grid is doing at this stage, because there is so much on the line. There are battles up and down the field. Money is available to everybody in this Constructors' Championship, so every point counts. Nobody wants to throw it away so early on in this race.
Yeah, no, absolutely right indeed. Ron Haar still leads with Barry Burman in second. Should the results stay the way they are now, of course, Freddie Rasmussen still maintaining that 7th spot. It will be Ron Haar as champion. Should it remain like this, regardless if Freddie was to pick up a fastest lap as they head down in towards the hairpin bend now at turn 5. DRS will become available now, so a great chance here for Barry if he wants to make a swap for the lead. Bear in mind, we've got to keep our eyes peeled on those on the hard runners. I mean, at the end of the day, Hayden, like you so rightly say, we've got mixed strategies here as well. Freddie Rasmussen on those hard tyres just needs to hang on, stay within DRS, because the race will come to him.
Yeah, certainly so. I'm looking at the soft tyre runners behind Fredrik Rasmussen, and I wonder whether it is a tactic instead of trying to get ahead and fight with the front pack, is to protect Fredrik Rasmussen and make sure nobody behind on softer tyres is able to get past him. So we can stay within those front runners of the hards, Alfie Butcher and Daniel Berezne, and be a great contender on that charge back through the field. If they can put a gap between those lot, and it's just the 3 of them chasing down instead of, you know, that mid-pack we always seem to see everybody tripping over each other as you've got drivers on older tyres and drivers on younger tyres coming across them. They all seem to trip over each other in the midsection of the race. So in order to stop that from happening, you've got Tom Manley, you've got Josh Ido on the soft tyres, just giving that buffer, protecting Fredrik Rasmussen at this stage of the race. It's as it was up at the front. Thomas Ron Haar, Barry Burman, Nicholas Longuet, that's the top 3 for now.
Yeah, we've still got fights for pride as well further down, especially Lucas Blakely, still yet to claim his first race win. What a time to do it here in the final round of this season's championship. Could happen, we just don't know yet. The top 4 all on soft tyres. They will be changing over later on as the stint comes to an end. Here's the rear wing view on Thomas Ron Haar's car. 4 tenths separate he and Burman right now. The finest of margins, much like their current championship positions. They come into this one with 4 points between them, between second and third place. The Ferrari looking all over that mean green rear wing as they head through the next chicane now, peeling on through and now making their way in towards the final sector. But the Dutchman has it all in hand right now. Burman's just moving his way out of the aero, trying to keep that engine cool, at the same time making sure he stays within the slip in order to maintain that DRS. It's absolutely essential to both of these title challenges, as well as Freddie Rasmussen, to ensure they are within DRS.
I was just looking around the studio whilst you were talking then, George, and I could hear the Mercedes drivers talking very, very loudly between each other. Daniel Berezne was down on the straight, and Jarno Opmeer was not paying any attention to his own screen and busy looking to what is going on Daniel Berezne's screen. Very interesting to note, and that's the great thing about being in a LAN environment, that these drivers are looking across. We were speaking to Brendan Lee yesterday, and whilst he was not really in the race in Qatar, he was too busy watching Thomas Ron Haar's screen, and then he actually broke check Jake Benham and Lucas Blakely, who were all fighting to not be last in that race. So yeah, something going on down at Mercedes, talking very loudly. Team tactics trying to sort out strategy and how to work things out throughout the rest of this race. Both their drivers on the hard tyres on a similar strategy, and we'll see how that plays out later on. John Evans had a strong qualifying to get himself into the top 10, and he's back in the top 10, just overtaking Ismail Fassi there in the Williams to stay in that points paying position. That'll be good for him. No points scored so far in his F1 sim racing career, so to get off the mark today to end off this season and get ready for the next one, that'll be good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting quite tight as well up at the front end. Still no swaps for the lead though. However, John Evans moving his way back through the field, has yet to score any championship points. Jarno Opmeer has managed to move into 13th ahead of Patrick Schippos as well, and looking to move on up. I have to say, we've reached a few milestones across many different areas in this championship so far this season. This is the 50th race as well for Alvaro Carreton, as Patrick Schippos moves up to 14th now ahead of Ulash Ozyulrim. But still, it's the status quo. John Evans still remains in 10th, but as we look to the front, Thomas Ronhart takes them through the final sector still, with now 2 corners to go on lap 7. It'll become lap 8 the next time around, and you do have to wonder, when will Barry Brumand pull the plug on this Thomas Ronhart lead and effectively, I suppose, DRS swap right through the course of the race through towards their pit stops.
Instead, we got the 2 of the Red Bull family. It's Tom Manley and Josh Edu. They're going early into the box. That's to try and jump the guys who are on the hard tyres and also try and get close to the drivers that are up the front. They can undercut them, get into the fight, and maybe make some trouble. Let's look at this replay. This is on board with, I believe, Jarno Opmeer overtaking Yas Marina round the outside into the chicane, and it's going to be a 2-for-1 with the Alpine driver as well, who is on the soft tyres. Fantastic, beautiful, lovely move there from Jarno Opmeer.
Little Brucey bonus for that one, heading through the chicane. Ismail Fassi now coming head-to-head with John Evans. Fassi now moves up to 8th place. There's more of them tying up, and there's a big puff of smoke there, and we've lost John Evans, I think. Evans is round in this stage, and Pedreño, I think, has also come a cropper as well at the chicane. It looked like there was a massive scuffle erupting, and now as a consequence, we got Fassi and Norgrove at the same time. Look at the duking out heading through the next left-hander. They're all coming together. Shipos now up to 11th. Ozilrim further down as well. Caraton moves up to 12th. As I said, it is 50th Grand Prix in the F1 Sim Racing World Championship. So now both Williamses move up a place.
And that spin is a result as well. Look at this. 2 seconds gap between Ismail Fassi and Daniel Beresne. Fassi will be hoping that he's saved up some battery so he can go on the attack, and he has got about half his battery left at the moment. So he will now be going on the attack, pushing really hard to try and catch up to that gap of Daniel Beresne to make sure these drivers don't lose out on that train. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for them to score points. Into the box, Ulash Ozilrim, Ruben Pedreño as well. They're going to come into the pits and switch over to a new set of tyres. Looks like they're going on to hards for the rest of this race as Jarno Opmeer moves up past Ismail Fassi, and so does Jed Norgrove. Jed Norgrove moving up into 8th. Fassi, though, has been kicked from the session. He's been removed. That's going to be very disappointing there for the Williams driver.
Yeah, we heard a big shout there, and he's obviously emotional right now. I tell you what, it's kicking off here in the grand finale. Jarno Opmeer in 9th, still bidding to chase after Jed Norgrove. Fassi, of course, we know that he needs to get back into the session. Caraton just trying to move past his teammates at the same time. Opmeer currently clear, but we have got them swarming up through towards the latter sector. Very soon they'll be in the very technical Sector 3, where they'll meet the 90 degrees rights and lefts and bring it in to their lap 9. Let's take a look at the replay here, Hayden.
Yes, this is on board with the Mercedes, and this is the crash. So John Evans just gets tagged on the inside. I believe that was a Haas just being a little bit too optimistic on the inside. There was a car on the outside. Fantastic there for Jarno Opmeer to be able to get cleanly through all of that. But yeah, that's how John Evans was unfortunately spun round. Had such a great qualifying earlier on today. Going to be frustrated, but that streak still to not score any points looks like it's going to continue.
Yeah, it does look that way. As we now watch Jarno Opmeer make his way across the start-finish line. Quite a gap starting to formulate further up with Jed Norgrove now 3 seconds detached from the tail of Danny Beresne, and he's got the sister Mercedes tracking him as well. Bear in mind, though, we have got a sea of hard tyres. Fassi back in the session and has rejoined, and I'm sure he'll be looking to try and do what he can to recover what he has lost. He's 2.4 away from Fabrizio Donoso, who sits in 14th place.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether Fassi can come back into this race, because he's only 2 seconds off the pace at the moment. If he can get back in, and with the drivers at the front kind of, you know, just taking it easy, maintaining the gap and getting themselves ready for that later stage of the race, it might allow all these cars to bunch back up and he can get back in it. But there's still that gap, Jed Norgrove to Daniel Beresne. That's now 3 seconds. So I think that lead pack has jumped away. But look out for further down the field. Tom Manley, Josh Edu, who boxed already 2 laps ago, they're going to be in that mix at the front.
Yeah, definitely. Jarno Opmeer still making his way around. Caraton managing to keep Shipos at bay as well. Williams looking pretty strong in terms of his race performance so far, and looking to continue to rise up this order. Started P17 and now on the tail of the Flying Dutchman as they head through the final sector once again. Left-hander, and here is a replay. Now this is Rasmussen going around the outside of Danny Beresne, coming in towards turn 5. Now this time taking the outside line as opposed to what he did earlier on. and flexing as well his muscles, utilising the straight line speed in the Red Bull and managing to move past Berejnej's Mercedes. A big moment there. Great move from Rasmussen, was necessary because he's got now 4 tenths between he and Alfie Butcher, so he's 1 step away from bringing the lead runner on the hard compounded tyres.
Yeah, that was a great move there from Fredrik Rasmussen to get himself up into 6th place. Interesting to see later on what the 2 Red Bulls, and it was very crucial that they pitted at the same time because now they can work together. They can DRS and slipstream. It's a very unique circuit here at Abu Dhabi. You've got this DRS straight now, you go through the chicane, it's another DRS straight. So one driver can overtake here, you go through the chicane, drivers can overtake again. And up at the front, Barry Boromund wants to get a move on. He's taking the lead of the race.
Yeah, we were waiting for him to pull the plug. Ruben Pedreño receiving a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, but this is not the story. It's Barry Boromund and Thomas Ronhaar swapping now. We were waiting for it to happen. This is the moment. As it happened, we then had Barry Boromund just taking himself out of Ronhaar's aero, late braking, heading into the chicane, and had his nose in front by the time he met the apex. A fantastic move from Barry, conservative move, one that he needed. It is now Ronhaar between 2 Ferraris as it was back at Vegas.
Yeah, with Barry pulling the plug there and getting a move on, this could mean that he is boxing this lap. He wants to really burn the battery, drive as fast as he can. At this moment, is he into the box? No, he's not. No, he just wanted to take the lead of the race. Never mind me, but it does look like Nicolas Longuet is into the box instead. So I was right. It was at least a Ferrari car, okay? They are into the pits. Nicolas Longuet going to go early. Now, where does he come out in relation to Josh Ido and Tom Manley? Let's have a look at the broadcast and have a see whether we can see where they are on the timing screens. So look out for Nicolas Longuet. He's dropping down through the field, but he's going on to medium tyres. So we have grippier tyres, 4 lap younger as well. Tom Manley's got him, so has Josh Ido, but he's still in that pit lane. Let's have a look at the gap when it all comes out together. What about Thomas Ronhaar? Is he going to take the lead of the race now? He's pulling out the slipstream to the inside line. Thomas Ronhaar does take the lead, and now these two working together to try and get as far ahead as possible of those 2 Red Bull family cars. Looking at the gap further down, it's 2.5 seconds between Nicolas Longuet and Josh Ido. He should be able to catch that up because he is on the medium, grippier tyres. But what are they going to do? We've seen the wall of Ferrari in Qatar. Will we see a Red Bull wall instead?
Well, we've just seen a Ferrari blast past Thomas Ronhaar. Barry Boromund now retaking the lead once again on lap 12 of 29. A very Hail Mary strap from Nicolas Longuet, and no doubt with certain measures put in place, he's looking to undercut those that are further up and still allow the Ferrari team to maintain a control of this race. But needs to watch himself. He's only 2.6 in behind Josh Ido. Doesn't want to necessarily be blocked out of anything, because bear in mind, Ido, I can't imagine he's going to make Longuet's life easy.
Barry in the box, he's pulled the plug, he's into the box, he's going to go and join his teammate further down the field. He should drop behind Nicolas Longuet, but then those two can start to work together to catch back up to the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri. But it's just a case of how quickly they can get through. If Tom Manley and Josh Ido just hold up 2 cars to allow Fredrik Rasmussen to get above them, then that will be enough for Fredrik Rasmussen to be in contention for this championship once again. Barry and Lucas following each other into the pit. They're full behind the Ferrari of Nicolas Longuet. They're exit the pit lane, and then all 3 of those drivers can work together to close up to the hard runners.
Yeah, certainly will. Thomas Ronhaar now the only soft tyre remaining up at the top. Patrick Schipos also in the top 10, but now being relegated to P10 itself as Wilson Hughes brushes past him into 9th place. So the soft tyres definitely seeing the end of their days now, and I would not be surprised to see Ronhaar coming into the pits on this very lap. He's 4 tenths, just under 4 tenths. It's now 3 tenths between he and Alfie Butcher, who is now hovering all over his rear wing, as we're now watching Wilson Hughes head down in towards the next left-hander. The in-swinger, of course, used to be yet another chicane through this segment, but has now been opened up since to allow fast-flowing racing and overtaking. And we've seen lots of that in the history of racing at this very circuit. Jan Watmir alluded to it as well. A fantastic track for opportunity, not just in terms of the strategy, but in terms of on-track action. It's now Wilson Hughes pirouettes through these final 2 corners on this lap. And it looks like Ronhaar's in the pits.
Yes, he is. He's going to come and join this train. He should exit at the back of it, so Nicolas Longuet leads the way between these 4. Then it's Barry Boromund, then it's Lucas Blakely. And with Ronhaar in the box, he should exit just behind. So it'll be these 4 trying to hunt down Josh Ido and Tom Manley and seeing what they can do in this race. But it wasn't much of a difference, it didn't look like, in terms of pace in that first round between the different compounds of tyres, that the softs weren't really able to overtake and attack the hard tyres. Now that might be just a case of those guys don't want to be too aggressive this early on in the race. Those soft tyres don't want to get into any scrapes that they don't need to do. But let's see how it all works out. The medium runners are catching up. Nicholas Longe now 1.4, 1.3 seconds behind Josh Edu. Let's see how this works out. But Fredrik Rasmussen, second place at the moment, but yet to make a pit stop.
Yeah, intriguing complexion here. But one thing I will say, he has got his teammate Josh Edu, who has already stopped. And just preparing for Freddie's stop, what's stopping them using Edu just making their life a misery here?
He certainly can. Let's take a look at replay. This is another Jarno Opmeer overtake. He just seems to be cutting his way through the field at the moment. This is on the Williams driver of Alvaro Caraton. And then you've got the AlphaTauri up ahead of him. But that was a nice move once again up the inside. But yeah, they could certainly deploy the teammate tactic. And also, you know, whilst Tom Manley isn't a Red Bull driver, he wants to do everything he can to impress that Red Bull team. He can make that own decision himself to be like, okay, if I want to impress Red Bull and I want to show them that I can be a Red Bull driver next season, I'm going to show that I can do the job to help out my teammate no matter what. So he might also try to hold up Nicholas Longe and Barry Broman to try and help his sister teammates of Fredrik Rasmussen.
Yes, he's got the AlphaTauri, of course, under the Red Bull banner. Manley ahead of Edo. We're currently watching Barry Burmand, who looking to, alongside his teammates, successfully take hold of the team's championship, and it's a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, he's
for
retired
Ismail
from the session.
Fassi, and that is, yes, a straight retirement. Just has not gone well for Fassi, and he is now brought into an
box again. Lucas Blakely has made a second pit stop, so whether he's had a collision with one of those front runners, but Lucas Blakely, looking so good up at the front for a potential race win, has now all come undone. And here's a battle for the net lead.
Yeah, Nicholas Longe managing to get past Tom Manley, and next up is Josh Edo. And I tell you what, it's starting, I think. We're getting the palpitations of what could be a very busy second stint of this race, with Longe now ahead of that AlphaTauri. Barry's got to do the same as they head through this final sector. Longe pushing Edo around as they head through towards Sector 3. There you can see the Red Bull with the Ferrari emblazoned all over its rear wing. The team all dressed in red, looking to turn on the style because Longe knows they need to get past, and Edo is making it so difficult for them.
Yeah, this is a great place to hold up a driver because it's so difficult to overtake in this section. You can take a little bit later to get back onto the throttle and just, you know, get a little bit early on the brakes. It's going to frustrate Nicholas Longe. Barry Broman, though, does overtake Tom Manley. John Evans goes into the box, so it's Ferrari 1 and 2 behind Josh Edu at the moment. But Josh is doing a great job of holding up the Ferraris and helping out his teammate up at the front.
Yeah, they're waiting for Rasmussen to pit. Edo trying to make it happen. The functionality of this manoeuvre is obviously to ensure at one level that Barry Burman is not in a position to attack the Drivers' Championship. The same could be said for Thomas Ronhaar because he's at the tail of all this. But also, we've got to factor in the Team's Championship. However, it does look, however, that they are going to have a stranglehold with Ferrari right now. Longe is going to go alongside Edo as they make their way down the straight. Edo can't stop him, but he's going to aggressively move to the inside as they go late on the brakes. Do they make contact? Burman now around his outside as well. Both Ferraris are going to move on up. They do move up. Edo could not stop him. He could not halt them. And both Ferraris now powering on through. But enter now Thomas Ronhaar, who now looks to open up the door on Edo. He's being attacked on all fronts. Contact made again. Ronhaar going long. He takes him. He takes him. The Dutchman now goes around on the outside of Tom Manley, wheel to wheel through the final sector. Truly bizarre scenes as Manley sends him wide.
Yeah, Manley shoves the door closed. It's 3 wide into the hotel section. Ronhaar does in the end get past Manley, but he's still stuck behind Josh Edu. They're doing a fantastic job at the moment to back all those drivers up. Into the box comes Fredrik Rasmussen. Where is he going to re-enter and battle with these front runners? Even if it's a couple of positions gained, that is crucial for Fredrik Rasmussen's championship. This is really going down to the wire, isn't it? Everybody doing their best chance to try and help out everybody else. And somebody else who is in that mix still, Jed Norgrove on the hard tyres, right up at the front, yet to box. Could he get in the mix?
Well, I mean, let's take a look at a replay. This is where they came together. He was sideways, Tom Manley, coming through turn 14. And unfortunately for Thomas Ronhaar, he got caught up with him as well. Oh, hate to say it, we might be seeing a visit from the stewards here. Thomas Ronhaar in 6th. Josh Edo right up against his tail fin right now, through towards the next left and right. Still, though, no plunge at all from Edo in this stage of the race. Lap 17 of 29. a truly excitable moment. It could have ended in tears, but it's 1.5 seconds now between Longuet and Ronhaar. Ronhaar needs to get back to within DRS of the Scuderia Ferrari to have any chance, not just about beating Rasmussen for the title, but Barry is in 4th on track.
Yeah, as it stands at the moment, this is looking very good for the Ferrari drivers. Thomas Ronhaar, though, light is flashing. So regardless of, getting past both Josh Edu and Tom Manley, he's had to use a lot of battery to do so. It is 1.2 seconds the gap between himself and Nicolas Longuet. If he's unable to get back into that 1 second, he's going to start to drop off, and it's going to leave him vulnerable, and his title chances could be slipping away. Into the box, Jed Norgrove and Wilson Hughes. Let's have a look at an overtake, and this is Daniel Beresne. What has he got up to into the hotel section? He's having a look behind the Haas driver of Alfie Butcher as he's navigating his way through that section. Thomas Ronhaar on the right of your screens. And watch out for Daniel Beresne as we just want to see Daniel Beresne go for the corners, I guess. No real... I'm not sure what was going on there, but Daniel Beresne had a nice trip underneath the hotel.
Yeah, certainly did. Very scenic section, taking the scenic route around Yas Marina. A swap now between the two Ferraris as Longuet and Burremand sees Longuet move up into first. They're trying to protect the gap between the Kick Sauber in 3rd place. This is an opportunity Ferrari sense, not only for yet another 1-2, 3 in a row. I mean, that would be unheard of, but at the same time, keeping Ronhaar behind and meaning that he doesn't get DRS.
Yeah, those two working together, and it's broke the gap. 1.4 now, so Ronhaar slipping even further out of DRS range. Frederick Rasmussen is in 6th place as it stands, but very importantly, he has a Red Bull driver ahead of him and an AlphaTauri driver ahead of him. They're surely just going to let Frederick Rasmussen through as soon as they possibly can and then defend to the rest of the drivers behind. That would promote Rasmussen into 4th position. If he finishes 4th, Barry Burmond will not be able to win the championship, but Thomas Ronhaar can.
Yeah, truly mind-melting scenes here. I have to say, it's going to be sensational. We're now on lap 19 of 29. A mere 10 laps remain as Patrick Schipos makes his way through turn 1. Rasmussen now past Tom Manley, and that was easy, wasn't it? Freddie Rasmussen now moving on up further back as well. You got Alfie Butcher looking to head on through as well. Manley once again just tucking in behind the Haas, but now Freddie Rasmussen has been released, and he's very soon going to join his teammate Josh Edo, and he will have that DRS.
Tom Manley just needed to be a little bit slower, maybe a bit more aggressive with Alfie Butcher just to make sure, because look at this, Alfie Butcher right on the tail of Frederick Rasmussen. He doesn't care about Freddie Rasmussen's championship hopes. He has a battle of his own in the Constructors' Championship. They're making sure they can try and stay ahead of both McLaren and Williams Esports to secure 5th in this championship. So he does not mind if he gets past Frederick Rasmussen. He doesn't care who wins the championship. Here we go. Alfie Butcher has a look on the inside as Josh Edu there holds up Alfie Butcher, and Frederick Rasmussen swoops around the outside, takes 4th position. Alfie looking for 5th.
Yeah, and they make contact as well on the entry, heading in towards this sector as well. But Alfie Butcher, clear determination. A fantastic move around the outside of Welshman Josh Edo, who has to give up the place, essentially. Just did not have the run heading out of those corners, and now sees himself down into P6. But we rejoin the battle at the front, and look at this. Thomas Ronhaar is now caught up to the tail of Nicolas Longuet. We have a race, Hayden Gullis.
As it stands, Barry Burmond will not be the driver's champion. Ferrari will be, but Barry Burmond won't. Ferrari's best bet of getting the double championship right now is potentially to use Nicolas Longuet to back up Thomas Ronhaar, break that second gap to Barry Burmond, but also back up Frederick Rasmussen. They need to get him lowered down into the field. If he's in 6th position and Barry wins, then it will go to the Ferrari driver. So they need to try and hope that either Freddie Rasmussen loses a couple of positions or Nicolas Longuet holds them all up. We've still got 9 laps left to go of this race, so plenty of time to see what happens and then, put all the cards on the table.
Yeah, now, looking at the tyre situation, Ronhaar has got 1 to 2 lap fresher tyres than both Ferraris sat in front of him right now, and he's hovering all over the back here of Nicolas Longuet in this final sector. They're going to make their way now through here this time around. Brendan Lee getting past Josh Edo as well, so that is Thomas Ronhaar's teammate also coming into play. Edo trying to fend off Alvaro Caraton as well, heading through the final sector. The Williams still remains in behind the Red Bull, but I'm sure very soon Caraton is going to pull the plug on all this because he's only got 4 laps on those medium tyres.
Here we are watching on board with Thomas Ronhaar still stuck behind Nicolas Longay. He needs to start to get a move on. He needs to win this race with Fredrik Rasmussen in 4th position to have a best shot of winning the championship. If Thomas wins, he'll be on 173. If he gets the fast lap as well, that'll put him to 174. With Rasmussen currently in 4th without fastest lap, it'll be 172. With it, it'll be 173. Ruben Pedreno out of the session, DNFs. And that looks like he has come into the pit lane, I believe. So Ruben Pedreno out of this race. Sadly, not the season Alpine would have wanted.
No, they have not had a great season, it has to be said. They've been working hard to try and rebuild it. Let's take a look at this replay. Now, we're following suit with Caraton here this time around. I did say it wouldn't be long before he tackled Josh Ido, and certainly it wasn't. Managed to go around the outside, heading through turn 1 on those very young medium tyres. And now moving into that P7 position. Brendan Lee into 8th right now, and was hoping that he'd be able to help out his teammate. He has managed, though, to get past Alvaro Caraton for P7. Just saw that switch on the timing tower as we now watch Ronhaar now still tracking Longay in 2nd. I tell you what, the tension is still very much in the air. Fredrik Rasmussen is in 4th, and now harbouring a 3.5 second gap between he and Thomas Ronhaar. It's getting feisty. We've got all 3 of our championship protagonists in the top 4, Hayden.
Brendan Lee's having a strong race, but is 2 seconds behind at the moment of Daniel Beresde. If he can maybe try and bridge that gap, he could possibly go on the attack and try and hunt down Fredrik Rasmussen to help out his teammate Thomas Ronhaar. Now we've got not a lot happening out on track at the moment. Things have calmed down after that first round of pit stop. Lucas Blakely, why is he at the back of the grid? Unfortunately, he broke his front wing trying to overtake Barry Bromand, and unfortunately this season just gets from bad to worse. Lucas will want to forget about this one, but will come back stronger next season. So down in currently 18th position. We're watching Alvaro Caraton just towing off the back of Brendan Lee. Brendan Lee will want to go on the charge, but he needs to work together with Alvaro Caraton to try and close that gap.
Yeah, Caraton has had his moments this season, was very unfortunate back at Brazil after losing out on a potential return podium to the circuit. Came 3rd there back in 2019, and then it could have been 2nd earlier on as well, but lost out. And now has to try and fight again, as now we see Thomas Ronhaar, this time coming toe-to-toe with Nicolas Longay as they come through towards the latter sector. Oh my goodness, they came together, running nearly 3 wide, heading through now into the entry of the final sector, and now Barry's on red alert because he's got a green car, now tracking him behind, and down the inside manoeuvre from the Dutchman. He takes the lead of the race. Incredible move from Thomas Ronhaar, daring, deceptive, but successful, and now the Dutchman needs to keep persevering to try and lay claim to his first ever title. He went close last season. He could go one step further this time.
Championship winning move right there. Thomas Ronhaar, as it stands, will be our champion. That will put him on 173 points. Fredrik Rasmussen at the moment on 172. This is going down to the wire. Tom Manley now retiring from the session, but he'd done his job. He backed everybody else up, and it puts Fredrik Rasmussen in a great position still to win his championship. And look at Rasmussen, nearly a second off of the 2 Ferrari drivers. Gets 1 more position, things go back the Red Bull driver's way.
Well, I tell you what, this again, incredible manoeuvre from Thomas Ronhaar, and Barry Burman is not going to forget it. The Iranian staying well within his wheel
Alfie
tracks.
Butcher's overtaken Fredrik Rasmussen for 4th position.
And that does turn the tail of the championship fight, because it throws it right into the hands of Thomas Ronhaar now as they make their way down towards the back straight. Burman staying within the wheel tracks. He knows what this could mean. Of course, remember, only 4 points between these two. If Burman could get ahead of Ronhaar, it could help his championship cause.
Yet, as it stands, if Borman can get past Ronhaar, he will be on the exact same amount of points as Fredrik Rasmussen. So Rasmussen is in 5th position. Barry needs to get in the lead now if he wants a chance to win this title. Let's look at a replay, and I believe this is Alfie Butcher going for the overtake. Yes, he does. On the left-hand side, he'll have the DRS. He uses his ERS, and he gets the position done. Is that just Fredrik Rasmussen being comfortable? He knows he needs 4th position to give himself a best shot, or allow Alfie Butcher to get in the mix with the Ferrari drivers and maybe pick up the pieces.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's incredible. Turn 1 now, they're venturing on to lap 24, and Ronhaar now still leads after a truly dynamic, brilliant IQ-wise, it ranks very high in terms of manoeuvres. He managed to dodge 1 bullet, being Nicolas Longay, and he pounced on another, which was Barry Burman, and sent his kick Sauber to the front here in Abu Dhabi. And now looking to grind on further, but so is young Alfie Butcher. The Challengers champion from last season has already taken a race win this campaign alike as well. His father is here cheering him on once again this weekend as Longuet looks to defend against the young upstart here at Abu Dhabi. They venture through Yas Marina still here in the second sector. Very soon as well, it'll be the third when they make their way through this next straight, and Butcher is going to try and open up the door. Ferrari-powered Haas against the Ferrari itself. Around the outside goes Butcher. In comes the carving knife. He's going to try and put down Nicolas Longuet. Is he going to get the line? Heading in towards the next right-hander. Wheel to wheel they stay. The Haas now in the ascension. Butcher has done it. He's in third place.
Alfie Butcher might potentially now go on the attack of Barry Buremund and see what he can do in this race. Of course, he want to hunt down a race win for himself. But Nicolas Longuet, now what he can do is just go a little bit slow. Hold up Frederick Rasmussen. Bring Daniel Beresne back into the mix. If Rasmussen's down into sixth, it's between Barry, it's between Ron Haar. Whoever takes the win takes the championship.
You certainly do. Tell you what, the permutations are absolutely mad. They've been scattered. We've been assessing them all day long. But at the hands of Thomas Ron Haar, it could very well be swinging his way. Half a second still between he and Barry Buremund, and you'd imagine that the work that Barry's putting in now, it's all about ERS saving. He's going to make sure he's charged up for one last lap assault heading into the last stages of this race.
Yep, going to be waiting till the last lap, but I'm sure Ron Haar is going to be smart to that. He's going to be doing exactly the same, so it's all about when you deploy that. Here's Nicolas Longuet defending from Frederick Rasmussen. Rasmussen will have the inside line going into the braking zone. The Dane brakes later, but Longuet keeps it on the outside. We'll get the inside line into the second part of the chicane. We'll be able to close the door on Rasmussen as he did have his car ahead, but Rasmussen with a great exit off the corner. What can Longuet do, if anything? Because Rasmussen is back in a chance to win this title. The Ferrari needs to send it up the inside, and he does. Rasmussen held out wide, but will he get the traction once again off the corner? We saw Alfie Butcher get that line through the corner, and it got him the position. Longuet really holding him against it. There's still wheel to wheel into the hotel section. Longuet still keeping his nose in there. He doesn't want to give an inch. He's going to have to give up. No, he doesn't. It's still wheel to wheel between the two of them. Rasmussen off the circuit. Where is Daniel Beresne going to come into this?
Yeah, the power of passion. The two Ferrari teammates working together. Longuet trying to do his best for his teammates, but he can only do so much. And now Freddie Rasmussen moves up into fourth and in touching distance of Alfie Butcher's third place. He's only 6.5 tenths away from it. Longuet runs a little wide of the apex, being tracked by Danny Beresne, who has got much younger tyres than what Longuet has. Still, though, it's Ron Haar at the head of the field. Rasmussen, though, in a very key position that could throw this entire championship into question.
I've just had a look, and it looks like either Brendan Lee or the driver behind him has the fastest lap at the moment, so we don't have to worry about that additional point right now. As it stands, 1 point in it in the championship, and it's going Thomas Ron Haar's way, but Frederick Rasmussen will be looking to try and attack these drivers up at the front. Alfie Butcher still holding that podium position. What can he do? Can he get in the fight? Does he want to get in the fight? He's currently in between all three of our title protagonists going into the last 4 laps of this race. What is Alfie going to do in the last closing stages of this race? Danny Beresne now behind Frederick Rasmussen. So unfortunately there for Nicolas Longuet, the tyre's just giving up on him. There's nothing really else that he can do. He drained so much battery to fight with Rasmussen so hard, but in doing so, has he drained Rasmussen's battery and left him vulnerable to Daniel Beresne? But we spoke to Daniel Beresne, and he was heartbroken that he took away a championship from Frederick Rasmussen with a small collision halfway through the season that they were fighting. Is this going to be returning the favour? Will he just stay behind him to say, you know what, I took that one away from you, I'm going to help you with this one?
Well, this is the moment where Beresne would manage to pass Nicolas Longuet and take P5 out on track. A move that certainly I'm sure Beresne will be pleased with. It advances his points cause, more going to Mercedes as well. Every point matters, especially on the final day. Ron Haar still out in front by 3.5 tenths. Buremund remains in second. Butcher holding on to third, with Rasmussen now still tracking, but has much fresher tyres. Well, you say that, he's matching the same tyre life as Alfie Butcher as now Barry Buremund springs the trap. Butcher follows on through, and now Ron Haar is made to move to third place. Doesn't want to stay there. He's going to try and hang around the outside of Alfie Butcher as they blast down the next straight. DRS now will open up again. This time, Ron Haar feathering his pockets by going down the inside, looking to try and take it back, but Butcher snaps it off. Ron Haar's forced to the outside. Butcher goes for second. In fact, he goes for the lead. He takes down Barry Buremund, and it means that we now have a Ferrari in second, the Kick Sauber down in third.
No friendships for Alfie Butcher. He's driving for himself at the moment. He doesn't care about this championship. He wants to end his season with a race win. And what this does right now is it hands the championship back to Fredrik Rasmussen. All three of them now together. Barry in second, Ron Hart third, Rasmussen fourth. What is going to play out in these final two closing laps here? It's all going to go down to the wire, George.
We're on the penultimate lap now, and the way it stands out here, obviously Thomas Ronhaar is in a position, well, certainly a position he doesn't want to be in, because of course he does forego the championship and it will swing Freddie's way. Thomas Ronhaar, I think, might know this. He needs to pull out an almighty couple of laps here. And no time like the present to get an attack going here and trying to stop the Ferrari that's right in front of you. Barry Burman, though, is going to make that as difficult as he can. Rasmussen as well, right in behind here. Ronhaar just right in his rear wing. Barry Burman now looking to take the lead. He swaps past Alfie Butcher. Ronhaar standing it down the inside. Oh, he's being collected. He's being collected. And that leaves him vulnerable to Rasmussen in fourth place.
Yeah, but then he closed the door on the inside with Fredrik Rasmussen. Rasmussen backed out of it. That now gives a great chance for Daniel Beresne to overtake the Red Bull driver. They're so close together. Ronhaar out of battery, but he sends it up the inside of the Ferrari driver of Barry Burman. They're wheel to wheel, but here comes Fredrik Rasmussen past both of them into second place, and that's a great position to take the championship. Ronhaar, big send up the inside. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does.
Two incredible overtakes we have witnessed in one sector alone. Thomas Ronhaar, who came in last season, he's had his troubles. He's tried to fend them off, batter them away, left, right and centre. This fight here at Yas Marina is requisite of that. It's very much illustrating the challenges that he has faced. And Rasmussen with his own challenges, someone who has gone so close to the title on 3 separate occasions. He's been listed as a runner-up, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. This time he wants it to be his year. And now he's going to try and challenge. He's going to try and challenge Ronhaar into turn 5. Rasmussen up to second place.
Famously, where Max Verstappen overtake Lewis Hamilton in the 2021 Real Life Championship, the Red Bull takes Ronhaar for the championship lead once again. Rasmussen in second, Alfie Butcher driving away, but here comes Ronhaar once again, back up in the second place. But this still would not be enough, is it, if it stands as it is?
Yeah, it certainly will. They climb through the next chicane. They've still got quite a lengthy portion of the circuit to go. Regardless of how things look right now, it does look like, on the face of it, that finally the dream has been answered. Freddie Rasmussen chasing that title. He's now back into fourth as Beresne sends it around the outside with a stellar move as they venture into sector 3.
Yeah, this has been a great strategy there from the drivers who went longer into this race. Alfie Butcher, Daniel Beresne up into the front running places. Here comes Rasmussen, though, back on Daniel Beresne. Who's going to get on top?
Well, Alfie Butcher, without any shadow of a doubt, an experienced drive, a superb drive for someone so young. He is the current Challengers champion. He's going to venture around the final corner. Alfie Butcher takes his second win and crossing the line. It is going to be Freddie Rasmussen. You are the bridesmaid no longer. Freddie Rasmussen has finally managed to achieve it after going second, runner-up 3 years running. You are an F1 Sim Racing champion.
Absolutely unbelievable finale we have just witnessed. All three drivers fighting tooth and nail right down to the wire. George, you take a breather, because that was absolutely incredible. What a race we have just witnessed. There's still celebration there for Ferrari, disappointment for Barry. There was a chance of the championship, even though it was a slim chance, there was still a chance. But they will be happy to know that they are Constructors champions. Alfie Butcher, second race win of the season. This time, it wasn't down to his teammate and working for him. This time, it was all down to his own pace and credit, and he takes the race win fantastically as well, getting in the mix. He didn't care about the championship, he focused on himself, and I'll be very, very happy with that one. Thomas Ronhaar, he'll be disappointed with that one, frustrated with what went on out on track. The strategy looked good for the top 3 because they broke away from everybody else, but then it all came undone. But that is the man of the moment. Fredrik Rasmussen is an F1 Sim Racing World Champion.
He's had it taken away from him on so many occasions. He's been so close in the past. The Red Bull looked like it gave him wings over many occasions, but it has to be said, this time it's going to taste all the sweeter. It may have come a little later than planned, but it's Freddie Rasmussen, the Great Dane, is your champ.
Unbelievable race. Absolutely incredible what we have just witnessed there. You know, it had everything. Plenty of overtakes. Thomas Ronhaar really wanted it, and it showed out there because some of the overtakes he was putting off, especially into the hotel section. Marcel Kiefer spoke about it earlier in qualifying. He just seems to be so strong in that section, and it showed here in the race today. The amount of overtakes that he made up the inside of there, sometimes you're thinking he's never going to make the corner, yet he just kept 2 wheels on that white line and was able to hold it.
Absolute scenes. I tell you what, credit to Ferrari. They've had a fantastic season in their own right. The team's championship in their hands. Barry always said that the Drivers' Championship was a long shot, the team's championship more realistic. That is where their intentions were. That's where their priorities lay, and they took it with both hands. But you've got to give credit to young Alfie Butcher. His 2nd victory in 10 races here in this championship. But you've also got to consider this young man, Thomas Ronhaar, who I'm sure will be back again in the near future. He came together with Freddie Rasmussen. We knew it'd be a fraught affair towards the closing stages of that race, Hayden, and it was a truly immense fight. Credit to Ronhaar. He did his best. The point swing was sensational.
I know it won't mean much to him in this moment, but he can still be incredibly proud of the season that he has had. He dealt with so much last season in 2022. The allegations against him. We came to a LAN event where there was no opportunity for any of that. And he still proved he is one of the front runners, took the championship right down to the wire, and he can certainly be proud to prove everybody wrong this season. He'll come back again. He's got a great future ahead of him, as does the Haas driver of Alfie Butcher taking the race win. But one of the veterans, Daniel Beresnay, onto the podium right at the end there. A great drive for him to try and help out the Mercedes in their Constructors' championship hopes. But of course, the day belongs to one man, and one man only, and that is the Danish driver of Fredrik Rasmussen.
I mean, he's had a fantastic season, hasn't he? And I said before, and not only is this his championship year, he holds every stat in the book. This, of course, means he has surpassed the 1,000 points barrier, and I'm happy to say it's a happy occasion for it as well, because he holds the wins record, he holds the podiums record, he has been in F1 sim racing since the very beginning, signed to the AlphaTauri team back in 2018. He was then procured by Red Bull for the foreseeable, was teammates with Longuet back in 2019 alike as well. And from that point onwards, ever since he finished 3rd for AlphaTauri, it's been 2nd place in the championship for Red Bull Racing from 2019, 20, 21 and 22. But now he's champion of 2023/24. And I tell you what, there could be more in the making of him. I really do think so.
I think now you get that one out of the way. There's always that pressure on a driver. It's the same with a race win. When you're trying to get your first race win, that every time it falls away from you, the next time it comes around, that pressure is built up. And that's probably happened every single season we've had of F1 sim racing. To finally overcome that pressure is going to be taken off slightly next season when we get into those final rounds, that he knows he's able to do it. I think speculation is over of who is the greatest driver in F1 sim racing, because the consistency of this driver is absolutely incredible. You've said it yourself. He has every record in the book. Doesn't have the most championships. Maybe he'll go get that next season. Let's take a look at some of the replays, some of the highlights. And this is Fredrik Rasmussen crossing the line in 4th position. It was enough. And finally, we see some emotion from Fredrik Rasmussen.
That's the biggest smile I've ever seen him make. Incredible. There we have it. Incredible, Freddie. And he really does deserve it. I mean, I was almost worried that we would actually call yet another 2nd place in the championship. I mean, it can't have been easy for him to deal with over the last few years. The fact that he was runner-up on so many occasions has gone close. As I said, statistically the greatest when you look at numbers of wins and podiums, but an immense achievement on his part, and really does deserve all the applause, all this attention, and the cameras on him right now. Very, very shortly we will go towards him, and I believe we have our champion standing by with the one, the only Claire Cottingham.
Champion indeed, alongside me, Freddie Rasmussen. Finally, you can call yourself an F1 sim racing champion. Talk me through your feelings.
It's just a massive relief at the moment. I had so many issues this event that was out of my hands, and it completely slipped away yesterday. But I had enough of a gap after event 2. So yeah, and drove a good race today.
Such a good race. I mean, at one point, we weren't really sure who was going to be the champion at all. What we love about F1 sim racing is it's come down to the final race of the season, and it kept us on the edges of our seat, and that's exactly what you did. Talk me through exactly where you realised that actually this was on you now, you've won it.
I guess in the final lap, but it was still very chaotic. They kind of went really hard in the end, lost their heads a bit, I don't know. So I just tried to stay out of trouble, and I knew I was in a good position.
Freddie, with everything that's gone on, not winning it for the last couple of years, and then now finally winning it, what does it mean to you as a Red Bull driver? What does it mean to you as a driver in general? What does it mean to your family and friends around you?
I think it means a lot to everybody. My family has always been supportive. Red Bull as well, they're doing everything they can. So thanks to them.
And now where does the future lead you, Freddie? You're a champion, you can wear the hat, you can walk away, you got the trophy. Now do you go for your next one?
Yeah, we'll see when the next season happens. I'm not sure yet. I'm going on vacation now with my girlfriend. So yeah, I'm just going to enjoy that.
I think it's a vacation that is definitely needed. When you started getting pressure as well from Thomas Ronhaar, you two were battling it out. There was one point where it's Barry Borman, Thomas Ronhaar and yourself as well. That was the 3 championship contenders all battling it out in the same part of the track. That was some good drama.
Good drama for sure. I'm not sure about the driving standards, but yeah, I didn't get damage, kept it clean, so we made it.
I'm sure conversations, as always, will happen between you guys later. Emotions are always high, but for you at the moment, the emotions are high because you are the 2023-2024 F1 World Champion. This is yours now. You can take it. You can celebrate.
Do I get to keep it or no?
Yeah, look, I'm not getting involved in that. I don't know whether you get to keep it or not, but this is yours for now. So please do feel free to lift your trophy up in the air. You are the champion.
Well, there we have it. Our champion, Freddie Rasmussen. I think we kind of knew that was coming, but they definitely kept us on our toes through that race. I was sitting there on the side doing all the permutations for every possible outcome, but it was hard to not have Freddie lifting the trophy at the end.
Yeah, I think it would have been heartbreaking for him. I think especially seeing as he's gone so close over the last few years. He hasn't been outside the top 3 now at all through his entire career here in F1 sim racing. So, I mean, again, another one for the record books. He goes yet another year within the top 3. Now he's a champion, and he can add his name to a long list of great champions. Brendan Lee's done it twice. David Sinitsa did it back in 2019. Jarno Opmeer went and did it twice as well, back to back. And then came Lucas Blakely. But now, finally, it's the turn of Freddie Rasmussen.
And Hayden, you were saying you weren't sure whether Freddie wanted this. Yeah. Didn't matter because he got it.
No, he certainly proved me wrong. He drove out there like he wanted it. Some of the moves that he was pulling off, it would have been so easy for him if he didn't want it, just to sit in that 5th position, allow the guys up the front to see whoever takes it, But he put some stellar moves out there to take the position that he needed. He calculated in his head 4th position was enough to take, especially with the positions that Ronhaar was in the end and Barry Borman. And here's some highlights. This is Freddie Rasmussen. Here's some of the moves that he was making, up the inside of Nicolas Longuet. This was important because obviously Longuet, it was his job to try and hold up Rasmussen and maybe try and get Daniel Beresne into the mix. And I think Longuet did an incredible job to keep it wheel to wheel for so long. But this here shows how much Freddie wanted it, because it is so risky in these scenarios for him to break a front wing to get involved there, and some of the moves that were pulled off at the front. I think we had one of the best races we've had so far this season. I'm so glad we waited right until the end to get this one here.
It got very spicy in those last couple of laps. You could really see how much those top 3 contenders wanted it. It was going back and forth. They were pushing it to the absolute limit.
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing chess in the back room, haven't we, Lee? It's
Just
this
about.
event. Just about.
Who won?
But
Who
they
won?
You did.
Yep,
you
thank
did
you very
win.
much.
Credit to that, Hayden Gullis. But they were also playing chess out on track today. The first stint was very calm, collected. They were all just trying to find track position, but it really ignited coming out of the pit stop phase. That was where we saw the cars then really landing the attacking blows. And I tell you what, this is the man who said checkmate. It was Freddie Rasmussen who has managed to lay claim to the title. And I tell you what, like I said, that's the first time I've seen him smile, I think, in years.
Now, of course, for Thomas Ronhaar and for Barry Burmond, it will be disappointing to not have got it. I think Barry had an awareness that he had a mammoth of a job on his hands if he was to win it. So I think he kind of went into it with that realization anyway. And of course, they also had the team championship that they were going for. And actually, I think we can hear from our team champions right on cue there. Claire, you've got our Constructors champions.
I have the Italians indeed, Tiziana Mercosi alongside me. The team manager, I think oh my goodness, there's loads of you behind me. Team trophy, guys, team trophy. Yeah. Congratulations. Tiziana, you must be so pleased.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of my guys. Super happy. I think really deserve it this year. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy for all of them.
There has been the most emotion from this team. These two have battled it through together as the strongest teammates I think we've ever seen in F1 sim racing. How proud are you of your two drivers?
I mean, as I said, I'm very proud. And I think that this year we really show who we are. So let's see next season. Next season, driver title 2.
Okay. Yeah, no pressure, guys, no pressure. We talked a lot as well about Ferrari this season. There's been some ups and downs. Last event was obviously very emotional at the end. We're going to have good tears this time, Nicholas, I promise. This is going to be good tears. And it's going to, it's just been such a roller coaster. And then to come into event 3 and to have Barry win twice yesterday and the battle that we had today with pole position as well. I mean, it's just been amazing.
Yes, I mean, we had a couple of debriefing in Maranello after event 2, and they really show how improved in the last weeks. I mean, it's like we are strong. I don't know what to say.
You are strong.
Yeah.
Let's bring the drivers in. I think that's always a good thing. Nicholas, congratulations. It is team trophy for you and your teammate, and of course, your wonderful team around you as well. How are you feeling?
Honestly speechless. I know she's about to cry, so I'm going to start crying as well.
Going to set each other off.
Yeah, honestly, I remember the first time I won this was in 2019 with Freddie and Red Bull and Yoni. It was an incredible feeling back then. I think it's even more now. I mean, I did every single race this year, and I think we showed, me and Barry, actually the whole team with us, we showed that we're just so strong, and we just had a little bit of bad luck at the start of the season, but we just didn't give up. We just came back, started practicing for event 3 straight away. And I think we couldn't have gone much better than that, to be honest.
I'm going to bring you both forward just a little bit so we've got the light on you. Barry, just talk to me as well. I mean, such emotions were high during that entire race as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really hard race. I mean, before the race, I was really nervous. Maybe for this event, maybe that was the only race I was actually nervous. And I mean, the race was really crazy, went crazy. We knew it, that they're gonna play like the team play, and then just like that. I don't want to go into the details, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm super happy to win the team trophy with Nico, because we have been best friends, and then now winning it with him, it just means a word to me.
I've mentioned it a couple of times over the last few days, but this partnership is so, so strong, and to be best friends in it as well. There was a point during that race where I was like, one Ferrari is just going round, because you two were stuck together, really fighting for each other.
Yeah, it was a very tight battle. I mean, but I think it was still fair and clean, hard racing. I don't think there was too much killing going on. So I think it was just deserved from everyone. Alfie did a really good race as well with the win there. And congrats to Freddie for the championship as well. And Thomas just not quite close enough, but I'm sure he'll come back even stronger next year, and so will we though. So I can't wait for next year.
Talk me through some of the emotions you're feeling. I know obviously you said tears were near. It is a very emotional time, but it is so important to you guys to move forward with this.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, that we're like best friends and everyone knows. But actually, fun fact, we used to despise each other at the beginning. Yeah, like the first year that I knew him, we used to proper despise each other, and we just could never imagine like this moment now. And
winning this together.
Yeah, honestly, it's a crazy feeling. I'm speechless now.
The bromance is definitely real between you two, and I love it. Look, guys, I really want you to go and run and celebrate with this, because you are the team winners for F1 Sim Racing 2023-2024. I give you Ferrari.
Wow. Look at that. Special moment to see there as the Ferrari team lift the trophy. That's got to be pretty sweet. I mean, Barry may have lost out on the Drivers' Championship, but that looks like it means so much to him.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think Claire would be happy. That's the second time she's made Nicolas Longuet cry.
Keep her away from him. Stop it, Claire.
It's just allergies. But yeah, incredible. I mean, what an occasion for Ferrari as well. They've been pushing for this, and with their arguably the strongest lineup, I'd say, in this field. When they came together, everyone was saying ahead of this F1 sim racing season that this was the team to watch, and they haven't just proved it. They really ignited the sheer passion and flavour of racing right through the course of Event 3. And after the hardships they had back at Zandvoort, the challenges through Event 2, what better way to get back at it than to put on a stellar display through the third event and become teams champions.
Yes, exactly that. And it really did feel like they came into Event 3 with so much momentum. They came in with one clear goal, and I think they achieved it.
Yeah, certainly so. And the unbelievable driver pairing for this season, especially Event 3. They really came out of the blocks, and every qualifying session, bar that mishap in Brazil, which was mainly down to wet weather kind of shaking things up a little bit, they've been right up there. And whilst qualifying isn't necessarily the most important, because you can still win races from down in 5th, 6th, and they said about Las Vegas potentially even 20th if it got as chaotic as they predicted it to be. But it really puts you in a great position just to maintain, and that's why over the course of this final event, Ferrari and Ronha have really just been the stars of the show, because it's been the three of them working together and just keeping themselves right up at the front to put themselves in the position to fight at the end. Yes, okay, for Barry, he'll be disappointed not to win the championship, even though he wasn't thinking about it too much, and he knew how difficult and what a mountain it would have been to climb in this final race. That little bit of disappointment will creep in, but he will be back stronger next season, and I, for one, cannot wait to see all these drivers go again.
Oh, I can't either. I'm just looking at these pictures with the biggest smile on my face. I think we've got the smiliest team manager possible there, an absolute lovely lady. Marcel,
yes.
You're back, you're here with us.
Yes.
What do you make of that? Look at that.
I think it was exactly what we were expecting. I mean, we didn't know the outcome for the drivers, but I think we were already quite sure that Ferrari, with their recent form, that they would bring it back home, and they did an amazing job. Not the result that they wanted in the end with Bari, but I think Red Bull and also AlphaTauri, they were working together with Tom, Josh and Freddie. I mean, Freddie did everything perfect in the race. He kept us calm and just brought it back home. Whilst his team did a lot of work for him. So I also have a couple of these moments again in my highlight reel, but it was shocking. I was shaking up there. I was so nervous the whole time. So yeah, it was an amazing season final.
And how much does it mean to get that team Constructors Championship? Because I mean, we so often put the attention on the Drivers' Championship, but this means so much as well, right?
I think it does a lot, but especially if you're already out of contention for the drivers. Now, they've won this, and they are super happy because they did an amazing job and they can be proud of themselves. But at the same time, they know there was more in it, and this is a little bit of regret that they will have. They will think, okay, but what if this went a little bit different? What if we had a bit more luck in Brazil? What if Freddie got a penalty maybe in the Netherlands? What if this or that? It's all these what ifs that go through your head, because then one race completely different, and out of nowhere Bari's also drivers champion. Then they bring back everything to Maranello, and so yeah, I think it means a lot, of course. but there's always this little bit of pain that you feel when you don't get the maximum result, because they are aiming for perfection. They're not here to just finish second.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the nature of these guys. They are striving for the absolute maximum, but I'm sure they will all sleep very happy knowing they at least got that Constructors' Championship. We can see Lucas Blakely just giving a hug to Barry behind us as well. Of course, Lucas, former champion now. But I guess this is a moment of just congratulations and relief for everyone across the series. This has been a tough old series to get through. It's been grueling. It's been full on, several races a day. A sigh of relief for everyone?
I think so, and I think for some teams, they're going to be happy with their positions, but other teams are going to look at this season and think, where have it got away from us? You speak about McLaren, for example. We spoke about Lucas Blakely. Obviously, him and Barry worked so well last season together. Barry moved over to Ferrari and has taken the Constructors' Championship with him. McLaren will be looking at what they can do coming into the next season. What do we need to improve on? How do we get the best out of Lucas? How do we stop having this torrid luck that Lucas seems to be getting so far this season? It's been, incident after incident, and everything's just kind of fallen away from him, and I'm sure he just has to forget about it, try and do his best again next season. But for some of the other drivers, there's going to be great celebration. Alfie Butcher has ended the season on such a high, a great rookie coming into the racks. We know of his qualifying pace.
2 wins.
Yeah, 2 wins. Event 2, there was a lot of mistakes in there, and it was kind of falling away during the races. He sort of got over that at the start of Event 3 with that 4th and 2nd position, and then to end it with a race win, that's going to set him up very well for next season.
Yeah, phenomenal. For a rookie to come in and show glimmers of such talent. I mean, obviously they're talented to even be here, but for him to have 2 wins and to round off the season like that, very lovely indeed. Now, we've done the Constructors' Championship, we've done the Drivers' Championship. Now it's time to have a little look at who got our final DHL fastest lap of the race award. And it's Fabrizio Donoso, as you can see, lap 19 there. He gets that lovely award. Let's have a little look at the DHL Fastest Lap Award and how it's progressed over the season in terms of our winners. So, does someone want to talk us through this very quickly?
Who's George? Give it.
Yeah.
Just the names of who won each race.
Yeah, well, I'll give it. So obviously, we know Barry Brumand now part of the team's champions fold at Ferrari. Jake Benham taking it back at Jeddah. Jed Norgrove managing to take it at Spielberg. But Jarno Watmir winning it 3 times at Silverstone, Spa and Sao Paulo. In between, we did see Ishmael Fassi step in. Alfie Butcher as well lay down the fastest lap through the course of the race. Of course, now winner here today at Yas Marina. Thomas Ronhart also taking it at Mexico City in his bid to try and push Freddie for that championship. Brendan Lee took it at Vegas yesterday. And then, of course, LaSalle went to Ruben Pedreño Donoso, getting it this time around. But Jarno Watmir managing to mastermind his way to
3.
Yeah, take 3 of them.
3. And do you know what that means? That means he takes the DHL Fastest Lap Award of the season. So let's hear from him right now with Claire.
Yeah, indeed. Jarno alongside me. You get your own trophy. You're the fastest man out there. How does that feel?
Yeah, very good, of course. Maybe not quite the fastest, looking at my qualifying results. But yeah, I did not even know I had won the award until 5 minutes ago. So yeah, great. At least got a trophy this season. So yeah, I'll take it.
But that's good. That's a good way to end the whole event, isn't it? Something positive, something happy, something looking towards next year, more things to, learn and grow on, and you get to take home a trophy.
Yeah, maybe next year I can take the bigger one home again. I would prefer that one, but yeah, happy that we still finished it off decently in the end with a P3 and a P6. But yeah, unfortunately just missed out on P3 and P2 in the Constructors. And yeah, it's just in general not been a great week. I feel like I was driving really well in all qualifying sessions and in all races, but yeah, just slightly too much issues. And yeah, that just happens in racing. In previous years when I won championships, others probably had issues. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm just gonna work hard again next year to try and win again. I feel like I'm only getting better, so I will do my best to win next year.
The fastest lap just shows how fast you push out there as well, and how hard that you are pushing every single lap as well.
Yeah, of course, now there's an incentive to go for a fast lap as well, as if you win the top 10, you get an extra point, which can make the difference at the end of the year, which is like 12 points at the end of the year, depending how long the season is going to be. So yeah, there's a lot of incentive to just grab those extra points. Same for pole position. In previous years, if you qualified P3, it was kind of enough. And now it is actually awarded to go for pole position, even though I only got it once this year. But yeah, I'll try to get a few more next year.
Once is better than none, so that's something at least. How much are you looking forward to next season, getting it underway?
Yeah, of course. I would love to take a little bit of a break, but the new game is coming out in 2 weeks, I think so already. So yeah, gonna have to go quite quick back to action and start practicing on that one. This season has been incredibly long for all drivers, so yeah, hope everyone stays well over the next 2 weeks before they start grinding again. But yeah, we will see. I think next year's game is going to be completely different, so might see some swaps in the top with driver swaps, but also who's going to be the better team, and yeah, we'll see.
Well, I think Ariana, it's back to you. And Jarno, you get to take home your own trophy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fastest man.
Thank you very much, Claire. Well done to Jarno for getting that. Fantastic. Right, I think we can now look at the race results. I mean, I know we've done all of the celebrations, but there was actually a race with several drivers involved. I think it's time to see how everyone shook out in the end of it. Alfie Butcher winning. Guys, take us through it all.
Yeah, Alfie Butcher takes his second race win of the season with Thomas Ronhaar second place. A great drive from him, some fantastic overtakes, just desperately trying to clinch that title. Unfortunately, though, it went Red Bull's way. Daniel Bresnay on the podium with Fredrik Rasmussen, for now our champion, in fourth position. Remember, these standings are all provisional. There's a lot going on in the stewards room behind the scenes. Let's see what if there are any changes later on. Nicholas Longate in fifth place and Jarno Watmere got sixth. Barry Bromand, it looked so good for him at the start of the race, and then it all kind of slipped away, finished down in P7 with Alvaro Currat on 8th. Brendan Lee, good drive from him to get 9th position. Fabrizio Donoso, P10, of course, taking that extra point as well for the fastest lap. Outside the top 10 is the AlphaTauri of Jed Norgrove. Wasn't one of the AlphaTauris that got involved in the mix, drove his own race and just finished outside the points. Wilson Hughes of the McLaren P12, the first McLaren out of both of those. Patrick Sipos in 13th and John Evans 14th after getting caught up in that incident. Josh Edu did a fantastic job for his teammate, and it resulted in the championship drive from Fredrik Rasmussen. But Josh Edu in 15th place, Julas Zilderim 16th, Lucas Blakely, after getting caught up with Barry Broman, finishes down in 17th, and DNFs for Tom Manley, Ruben Pedreno and Ishmael Fassi, who sadly got disconnected from the lobby.
And now I believe that we have the standings that we can also look at. Of course, we've crowned our champions, but shall we look at our driver standings and constructor standings? Everything is still provisional as we're so soon after, but let's get to it.
Yeah, provisional standings, but this is how it looks at the moment. Our champion, Fredrik Rasmussen, first time finally getting that championship to his name. Thomas Ronhaar took it so close, right up until the end. What a comeback drive in event 3 from both himself and Barry Broman, but they both miss out on it. Ronhaar in second, Barry in third. Jarno Watmere holds on to fourth position with Alfie Butcher with that win in the end, jumping Nicholas Longay and moving himself up into fifth position. Longay was sixth. Lucas Blakely has just sort of stayed in seventh place for the whole season. Again, he'll be looking to forget about this and come back stronger next season. Fassi, a great debut as well for the rookie. 8th in the standings, a couple of podiums to his name across the season. Watch out and see what he can do in the future. Daniel Bresnay, that podium in the end puts him to 9th with Brendan Lee in 10th. Josh Edu, great job for his teammate today, but finishes in 11th in the standings with Alvaro Currat on 12th, then Jake Benham, then Tom Manley and Jed Norgrove, the two AlphaTauri. Simon Weigang with that great drive yesterday, that put him to 16th. Wilson Hughes in 17th, Joni Tomler 18th, then it's Julas Zilderim in 19th. Ruben Pedreno rounds out the top 20 with 9 points. A little bit further down, Fabrizio Donoso with those 2 points added to his name puts him to 5 on 21. Then it's Patrick Sipos and Danny Moreno, 22nd and 23rd, the last point scorers. And our 3 drivers who did not score a point this season, Philip Presneda, John Evans and Will Lewis.
Yeah, we have the constructors' standings to go through as well. We, of course, crowned Ferrari champions in the Formula One Sim Racing World Championship. 253 points, 50 points clear of the Kick F1 Sim Racing team. Red Bull, as a consequence, dropping down to third. So they may have laid claim to the driver's title with Freddie Rasmussen, but they dropped down again in the constructors' standings. Mercedes managing to finish in fourth on 197, with Haas F1 team after Alfie Butcher's stunning display at Yas Marina, granting them 116 at the end of the campaign. McLaren remaining in sixth, with Williams just in behind them in seventh spot, with AlphaTauri finishing in eighth. Both Aston Martin and Alpine have been dueling it out across the season, but it's Aston Martin who finish in 9th ahead of Alpine in 10th.
Thank you both very, very much. Lovely to see how things all stack up after that. I think it's time that we give you two a little bit of a breather. You've done a lot of talking. Marcel, you're up instead. Our analyst, tell us what you want to analyse after
I'm actually mind blown right now because of Red Bull. I didn't know that they finished third.
Yeah.
That's wild. So we are going into the race highlights, my personal race highlights already. It's lap 8, a fight between Danny Bersney and Frederick Rasmussen. Amazing side-by-side action. That's how we want to see it. A beautiful move around the outside from Frederick. Then here we see a crash. That's why Fabrizio Donoso, no, John Evans actually scored no points in this race from a good position. And also Blakely ran again into another car ahead of him. It was similar to Qatar in lap 1 when he ran into the back of Jarno Opmer. And here we have the onboard from Josh, whilst the teammate, well, not actual teammate, but Alpha Tauri is fighting Thomas Ronha to help out Freddy. And there we can see as well Alpha Tauri just completely slowing down to let Frederick Rasmussen pass without any kind of fight. And then we have here another block from the Red Bull to hold up the pack behind. Josh, of course, has done his job. The rivals are ahead. Now Freddy can fight with the fresh tires, and we still have Alfie. He's not giving up. Nearly wing damage for him around the outside of Josh. Gets the move done. Then an amazing little battle between Thomas Ronha and the both Ferrari drivers around the outside into this fast left-hander, super long left-hander before the hotel section at the Yas Marina circuit. And Thomas, I don't know. Man, this guy has balls of steel. Sorry that I have to say it, but I mean, he's fighting for a championship. Any kind of move could bring him out of this fight, and he's just fearless. The guy is just sending it left, right, and center until the final lap. We still have a couple of moments like this. He's amazing. Like, he knew what he had to do. He did everything that he could, and unfortunately, it didn't play out. And Frederick Rasmussen, he brought it back home to Milton Keynes. So well done to him. Also here, another move from Frederick Rasmussen on Nicolas Longuet. Also really good to see. Ferrari didn't play any crazy team games. They were just trying to hold him up fairly, but enough space for Freddy here. Also, I think it's getting a little bit tight, but still he's on the white line. That's 100% fair. Great driving from Nicolas. And he's still trying to fend him off. And this is actually not it yet. But, oh, okay, we don't have the full replay there, sorry. But there was another attempt from Nico on the inside. Good racing. Thomas getting passed by 2 cars, Alfie and Barry. Also, you have to admit one thing. Brendan wasn't lying when he was saying that Kick would not do any team games, because also Haas, they are in somewhat of a relationship. They have a similar management behind. So actually Alfie could have helped out Thomas, which he didn't. He did his own race, finished first. Amazing to see that they were actually just going for sportsmanship there. A little snap for Thomas, and now he's trying to get back past Barry and Alfie. And there we see this little bit of contact when nearly the race got finished for Thomas. He caught it well. Freddy on the inside squeezes him off, but also fairly. And Freddy decides, okay, I can still win the championship from here. And another set. That's what I mean. Like, what the hell is going on with Thomas Ronha? And he gets stuck with Barry. We nearly have another a double from 2022 when Barry and also Ronha went off and Jarno just went through in Kota. But this time here, and now Danny Bersney benefits from Frederick Rasmussen in the final lap, fighting with Thomas Ronha, but Thomas has nothing of that, and he's still trying to do whatever he can and sends it down the inside here. Final time. It's crazy what he did this race. Honestly, amazing driving. Unfortunately, it did not work out. And we have another attempt from Ferrari, Nicolas Longuet. A final time trying to help out his teammate, sending it on Freddy. But it doesn't work out. No bit of contact, amazing racing. And I mean, I don't know how you two guys are doing it, but I'm out of breath already from this. So yeah, that was an insane race. Yeah, I don't know. We will have to wait and see with the stewards if there's anything going to turn out, because I'm not sure if teams are going to report some actions between Tom and Josh with other drivers if they think maybe it's unsportsmanlike. We will see. But one thing is for sure, Frederick is a deserving winner. Thomas would have been a deserving winner. Same with Barry. They all did an amazing job this season. And Fred is finally he achieved it. I'm really proud of him. In the last few years, it was always P2, and now he finally did it, unfortunately. Maybe it was my bad, because I was his teammate. Now when I'm gone, he's winning.
You did your best, Marcel.
Yeah. It is so nice to see, and nice to see how much it meant to all of them as well. You did mention that as we went through the standings that you were surprised to see Red Bull
That is
drop
crazy,
to third.
honestly.
Crazy.
I did not see that, because Red Bull was the clear favorite going into this event. Then Ferrari suddenly turned into, I don't know, God mode yesterday. 1-2, 1-2, and today they looked like they would secure another 1-2, which they didn't in the end. But out of nowhere, Thomas is doing the right thing. And also, I think did Brendan score points in the final?
Did score points.
Look, this is also one thing. Kick was not doing anything there. And you could see that actually Josh's race got sacrificed for Freddie. They were more focused on the drivers than the actual team standings, because they could have went for, okay, we are securing the teams, and Freddie, you have to do your own job. They decided to, okay, let's focus on Freddie and give him a shot. And it worked out in that way, but they also lost out on the Constructors Championship to Kick. So yeah, interesting.
Event 3 really has thrown a lot of surprises our way and lots of back and forth in those standings. But our winner from the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is ready with Claire to chat with us. Alfie Butcher. Claire, take it away.
All of that, we nearly forgot about you, but we didn't, obviously. We didn't. There was so much going on, but you picked up your second win. Congratulations. You must be really happy with that. What I love the most is that everyone else was battling it out and they almost didn't see you coming and you just went, don't worry, I got this. I got the win.
Yeah, I mean, the game plan was always to stay out the chaos. We knew it was going to be an interesting race. So yeah, that kind of reflected on our strategy. We went long, having the best tyres to the end. And yeah, it paid off. We made the right moves at the right time, and chaos behind led to getting a nice gap and it being a nice, comfortable ending.
Were you expecting it to be, I don't want to say easy because this race wasn't easy, but were you expecting this result coming into the race?
Well, a few people told me at the start, like, this could be my race to win. It could be someone else's race to win outside the championship fight, because they knew what was going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I was confident going into the race, and that definitely helped me.
Races like this as well are really, really great advertising for F1 sim racing as well. Getting involved with it, getting to play the game as well. And in a not too long time, that's not a full sentence, but you know what I mean, in a couple of weeks' time, the new game's out as well. How excited are you about going into the next season?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a long season, so some rest is definitely due. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the new game and hopefully improving on this season.
And how impressed have you been with this LAN setup as well, being able to kind of hear all the emotions, see what's going on, and as well celebrate your first 2 wins with, you know, some people that you get on with as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously LAN's such a great experience, seeing everyone and driving all in the same place is just really great. So I think I'm definitely happy to experience my first season like this rather than online.
How much pressure do you think you were put under during that race?
Yeah, I mean, there was a small bit of pressure because we were fighting in the Constructors for P5, but yeah, I mean, sometimes with pressure it helps you deliver a bit better. So I tried to put my head down as much as possible and we came out on top.
Got quite close with a couple of the drivers. I think it was Thomas Ronhaar that maybe, I think he tried to go up your inside and you shut the door on him. There was a lot of chopping and changing. I mean, keeping your head, your cool head. You had a birthday recently, didn't you? So you're 17 now. Yeah. So yeah, we mentioned when his first win happened, he was 16. Now 17. Obviously, that's how maths work. But you, for one, you kept your cool, you kept your head, and you just managed to, hold off 3 drivers actually that were fighting for a championship.
Yeah, I didn't want to get too involved in the championship fight and affect it in any way. Really, it's just not the way I want to drive. But yeah, I tried to battle fair and clean, and that's what we did, and that way we ended up on top.
You didn't want to get involved, but you did also want to win.
Well, yeah, you wanted to stay out of it and pick up the pieces, but...
And once again, your dad, who is currently high-fiving people and shaking their hand, he's here again. Very proud of you. Nice to see Jason here. How happy is he?
Oh, yeah, he's over the moon. Obviously, seeing me happy makes him happy. So
he loves being interviewed as well. I just looked over to him and he shook his head. He's saying, absolutely not. We'll get him another day. Alfie, congratulations. You have won the final race of the season. We look forward to seeing what you can do next year. Ariana, back to you.
Thank you very much. He might not like being interviewed, but he was still just lurking in the back of that shot. Not quite quick enough there. Huge congratulations to Alfie. What a performance. What a rookie season. Fantastic to see. Now, as the dust is settling a little bit here in the studio, emotions are still high, aren't they, Marcel?
Yeah, I mean, we've just had it about what it means to win a Constructors Championship. As Ferrari, it's so amazing, but it seems like there's a little bit of upset actually between Bari and I don't know if it's his engineers or something, maybe something within the race where he felt like, okay, maybe we could have done something to actually help me more to become the champion. This is what I mean, like they are happy to celebrate, but at the same time, they know there was more in there, and you can actually see Barry is fuming. He's not happy.
Yeah.
He's actually.
I believe he's not happy with the tactics between Red Bull and
you can see it in the background here somewhere.
They are not happy because it was Tom Manley and Josh Edu working together, basically making a wall of Red Bull family, holding up the Ferraris.
Oh yeah, you can see.
And they're not happy with that because, you know, they're supposed to be separate entities and not working for the same team.
You can see he's Italian now because of his hand.
We can see looking very frustrated in the back there. I don't know if you can still see him in between George and Marcel on the desk shot, but he is definitely looking very frustrated, actually. Going to talk to the team now. That's the nature of this sport, isn't it? The emotions run so high. And of course, when you do have two teams that are working together or potentially working together, it's going to sting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've seen it years gone by. I mean, I remember back in the 90s seeing Schumacher storming down the pit lane to confront David Coulthard back at Spa after they came together. Obviously, that's not necessarily over a championship, but friction does occur when it comes to championships. We saw it with Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg, things of that nature. So, again, it's racing. These same things exist, regardless of whether it's a real-life sense or a sim racing sense. And given the fact that we had so much going on, I mean, my brain was getting fried. I bet you could smell, you know, something cooking in the brain. But it was definitely frying up there, but due to all the madness and the craziness that was happening. But yeah, I mean, obviously, animated scenes as far as Barry's concerned.
Indeed. But let's end things on a high. I want to know your highlights of the season.
You first, mate.
I'm going to throw it right back to the start. Thomas Ronhaar taking that race win and shushing the audience after everything that happened last season, not just from social media, but even drivers here speculated what was going on behind the scenes when we were driving back at home. We came to a LAN event and he proved everybody wrong, that nothing of the sort was happening, and it was all down to his own ability with the old shush to the camera. It was beautiful.
Iconic. George, what about you?
I want to, not necessarily a moment, but I think just praise the new blood that have joined the championship this year. Fair play to Alfie Butcher. What a debut season, first and foremost. 2 race wins in 10 races. I think that's deserving of a mention. And also Ismail Fassi, 2 podiums back-to-back. Jed Norgrove was sensational in doing what he did. Tom Manley. Both Challengers champions were exceptional, and the 2 other young drivers that came through were brilliant. And great to see Will Lewis and John Evans coming in for his full season campaign, his first full season campaign.
Lovely. And Marcel?
I mean, if I would have to talk about a race moment, I think it's probably Ferrari's 1-2 back-to-back. I mean, 2 races in a row. We've never seen it before. It also elevated Barry back into the mix. It caused this amazing season final. And but I would also say, like George, just in general, these 2 drivers, Barry and Ronhaar, they proved to never give up, because Freddie had an amazing season, but he didn't have any kind of like standout performances aside from Stanford and Coulter. And Barry and Ronhaar both had races without any points, and they still actually caused the battle until the end and made this veteran actually sweat and show emotions in the end. So you have to say they did an amazing job, and it just proves on this level even to never give up, no matter how dark it looks like, and you can just take that over into your general life, because there's moments where you think it's completely over, but it actually isn't. You just need to keep on pushing and believe in yourself and the team, and then it will work out eventually.
Indeed, it will. They went on quite the roller coaster to get to this point, and every single one of these drivers should be hugely proud of their efforts this season. That's it. We're done for the 23-24 season. There is going to be a survey link going into the chats. As I've said before, please give us your feedback. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like. Anything you want to share with us, please do, because we would love you to do so. Thank you so much for joining us throughout all of the season, all 3 events. We really appreciate it. Thank you to my fantastic team, Hayden, George, Marcel and Claire. Thank you to all of the drivers for their efforts throughout this, and of course the teams behind the scenes, the production crew, everyone that's been involved in this. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you at home for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Huge congratulations once again to Freddie Rasmussen and Ferrari, champions of the 23-24 season.
Still at this stage, Wilson Hughes, Edo, Norgrove, Otmir, Manley, they're all in the mix of all this. We've got a Red Bull now going side by side with the AlphaTauri.
Thomas Ronhaar defending fantastically despite not having DRS, and there is one more opportunity into the final sector.
dismissed his doubters. It was hardship in event 2. He hails in event 3. It's victory here at Mexico City.
Maynard to go 3 wide once again, down in towards the first corner. Ron Hart around the outside of Freddie Rasmussen. Can he hold it? Ron Hart will then get the inside through turn 2, and he does.
Win here at Brazil, and he's going to go back to back. It's a triple dream for Thomas Ron Hart. He wins the Sao Paulo Grand Prix with Alvaro Carreton in second.
So I had a really tough Q1 instead of Q2.
And Barry Burman is now looking to try and make it 5 this season.
Then I had to talk to myself in Qatar like, you're Barry Burman, you can do it.
He must put the moves on. Ron Hart in front, nearly half a second plus here at this point. And they rolled the dice. It's Barry Burman, your victor here in Vegas. And it's Longe who takes P2.
I don't know what I can say to explain how I am feeling right now.
On the final lap, they'll steam up towards the line. It's Ferrari delight again. Back-to-back 1-2s. Burman and Longe.
Well, it's going to be very difficult for Red Bull to break both of them. And there's certainly 3 drivers still in this hunt.
Longe in third, Blakely tucked away in fourth as well. Answered Freddie Rasmussen chasing that title. He's now back into fourth. Freddie Rasmussen has finally managed to achieve it. An F1 Sim Racing champion.
And he takes the win. He is the competitor to beat. What a performance. What a victory.
It's finally here. Formula One in 2024.
The wait is over in Bahrain, and we are just hearing that the starting grid is on the look for a new driver. Who will it be?
I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting shit.
And radio is good.
Here we go.
The Grand Prix is underway.
What a dramatic start. Can you believe it?
I just feel like they're gonna bleed.
Yes!
Spun out
Oh, he's lost it.
Pop out, guys. That's it.
The pit lane's going to be alive now. They're all in.
on my own, here we go. Mind is set on an overdrive. On my own, here we go.
It's not every day that we get to see such incredible wheel-to-wheel racing.
Out of the final corner. And here's our winner today.
Can you beat me?
Yes! What a race. Thank you very much for that. Thank you to the fans.